てストさてあさってストさてあさってスト声抜けちゃって吹いてくれたらでもっと後で火をつけるのにあっちまた一人きり後で火をつけるのにあっちまた一人きり一人きり一人きり一人きり一人きり一人きり一人きり一人きり一人きり勝て声のケツちゃんと吹いて帰れよな
Welcome to the Grunt Free Press Podcast, episode 231. Absolute Deicide takes Manhattan. Don't get your hopes up. Most of it takes place on a cruise ship, and the last third of the podcast, when I'm supposed to be in Manhattan, I actually recorded that in Vancouver, Canada, because it was much cheaper to record. www.gruntfreepress.com is a website I would suggest going to. Who knows how long some of the content on there will be up. I don't know. I made my video review of Condemned Criminal Origins. That got pulled. I got pulled from YouTube, which was, I was hosting it on, I was on the site, but I just had it hosted on YouTube. I don't think I have the fucking original one anywhere anymore. I got pulled. It had nothing to do with the game. It's not like, it got like a strike for showing gameplay or even the content. I actually got a copyright takedown from the Punky Brewster estate. Or maybe like CBS or some shit. Whoever owns the right to the fucking Punky Brewster show these days. That little cunt can't even match her shoes, and somehow she figured out how to send copyright litigation notices for a fucking 8-year-old video with fucking 30 views on it or something like that. So I hope she gets locked in a junkyard refrigerator and she fucking suffocates. Podcast at gruntfreepress.com is the email address. Every email I receive brings me one step closer to hiring some lawyers to defend myself from these situations. You get money inside of emails, right? Is that how it works? Speaking of irrelevant ghosts of Christmas past, Halo Reach came out on PC. Now, if I really wanted to play a Halo game, I've had the fucking Master Chief Collection on Xbox One for years, and I haven't fucking touched it in years, probably like 6 months after it came out, or I have all the fucking original games for the original systems too. But, I have Xbox Game Pass on PC. Reach is on Xbox Game Pass. Cage goes in the water. Sharks in the water. And I have nothing better to do with my life. So let's check it out. So the first big surprise, that's not really a surprise, I guess, the game doesn't launch. I go to launch it. It's fucking like, it's downloaded, blah, blah, blah. You can play it. Press play, and it doesn't launch. Because why would it? There's a big green button on there on the fucking Xbox Game Pass launcher thing. It says play. Click it. Nothing. It does fucking absolutely nothing. It became this fucking ridiculous mess where, because for some reason, all of Microsoft's shit is divided in like half a dozen different apps and stores everywhere. You don't use the Xbox Companion app that I have. You don't use that to launch games. That's just for party chat, like crossplay party chat with people using Xboxes, which works like shit, really. And there's all sorts of other features on there for the Xbox companion app, where it's like, oh, you can show your whatever fucking frame rate or whatever, and you can record if you're on a fucking computer. You're not going to use the fucking Xbox companion app to like record fucking gameplay and shit. But I mean, the whole fucking UI on it is a mess. But yeah, so for Xbox Game Pass games, you need the Xbox PC app parentheses beta. It's Xbox. It just says Xbox parentheses beta. That's what it is. Because there, if you go to that, you can see that the Master Chief Collection is right there, but it won't launch. So if you're in there, you click on details or something like that, 3 little dots or some bullshit, and it'll bring you to the Microsoft Store, which is like its own separate app, where you have 2 options. You can either buy the game directly for whatever, $50-$60 or whatever, or it says, hey, it's included in Xbox Game Pass. So I have that. Click on Xbox Game Pass, and it opens up the fucking Xbox Game Pass app again. Then you're back where you started. It's just like a circle of shit. Then you can also see, when you're on the store, you also see an option to install on devices if you go to like your library, I guess. But you try doing that, and you get this message that'll pop up that says, oops, something went wrong. No shit. Seems like a lot has gone wrong here. Then if you use you can click on the start button, or like whatever, the Windows icon in the lower left corner of like the taskbar, and like, hey, the Master Chief Collection is there, and click on that. It still doesn't launch, because first you have to update Windows. Even though you have automatic updates turned on, it's not, apparently the Windows isn't updated enough for this fucking game, so you have to like manually go in and fucking click on an update and update it. And it would make too much sense for like, a prompt to pop up when you go to fucking launch the game somewhere in one of those fucking apps where you're going to launch the game when like it's not launching, to be like, hey, you have to update Windows before you play this game or some shit. And then like, do you want to do this? Yes. And fucking, update Windows, and that would take you to where you need to go. But no, it's just fucking all this like separate shit where you're just like, what the hell is going on? Why won't this fucking game launch? So I mean, that's all it was really. You just had to I had to update Windows, and then it played. But it was like 20 minutes of frustration and searching around, which begs the evergreen question, what the fuck are you doing, Microsoft? I mean, why is it when you try to play PC games on like an operating system owned by the people who made this game, from a PC company, why is it all like haphazard and fucking ridiculous? So anyway, Halo Reach on PC, it looks really fucking nice when you launch it. I think it's almost 10 years old now, but yeah, so some of the graphics, like, the first mission in the game where you're riding on a pelican, you're up flying over these mountains, and there's like a fog, like a smoky haze type of effect it just looks so fucking good, like the mountains and shit, and just like, the wilderness and this fucking effect. It's this blend where the game's semi-stylized, where they want it to look clean and easy to read and shit, but there's also like a lot of detail in there at the same time. I think it holds up really well. Aside from like little things like, people's faces that like the faces look a little bit cartoony, but that's expected. It's stuff like that. It's the whole uncanny valley thing or whatever, where it's like human shit, human form and face and all that shit's gonna look. That's what's gonna get you. That's what's gonna show its age. And they weren't doing the full blown facial performance capture with the big like HD rigs and all that shit until like Halo 4, I think, is when they started doing that, where it's just like, oh, it just looks like they took a video of somebody's face and like photoshopped it onto like the model, and that's what you're looking at. I think Halo 4 started doing that. I don't think the Covenant have ever looked better than in Halo Reach. I mean, it's chronologically, it's the first game in this, in the series or whatever. It was a prequel to all the other ones, came out before Combat Evolved. So they try to make the aliens in the game like aliens, like they look like aliens. They're fucking like frightening and shit. The first time you encounter an elite with an energy sword, they just give you like a quick cutscene of a close up of him yelling, and his little mandibles are fanning out like the Predator, and it's like you see that, it's like, oh yeah, these things are actual threats in this world that want to like wipe out or enslave humanity. It fucking makes sense. They're like this big fucking hulking, like scary looking fucking things, dude. And even like the grunts are little ugly things, and they look like fucking like burn victims in gas masks. And every other Halo game, even the first one, the grunts were always like the comic relief, and even like the elites and shit were kind of goofy and fucking woot 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 and fucking run, fucking the grunts just waddling around, and they'd barely pose a threat. And they yell in like high pitched voices and run away, often yelling "run away" in like high pitched voices, and the high pitched voice and shit. But there are like, they look fucking pretty creepy looking, and there are elite grunts in Halo Reach that wear like heavy armor, and they take more hits before you can kill them, and they often carry like heavy weapons like fuel rod cannons and shit. So it's like no joke. Like you see a group of grunts, and it's like shit, dude. Like this, like it could still have the potential to fuck my shit up, Yeah, Halo Reach is definitely the darkest of the games. Like the entire premise of it. If you're a nerd who follows Halo lore, the planet Reach. You know this beforehand, where Reach is the first world to come under attack from the Covenant, and it's like destroyed. It's glassed. They say it's just fucking, just completely bombarded. Almost like all around from Star Wars. So it's like fucking, it's like, all right, so you're on this world that is going to be fucking destroyed. So play that, that's like the premise of the game. It's like the Star Wars Rogue One of Halo games. Your entire squad dies. The planet's going to be glassed no matter what you do. Your mission is to get the, Dr. Halsey or whatever, the creator of the Spartan program. You have to get to her and rescue her and pick up something that'll help the humans survive in the long run. In this case, the most advanced AI that they have at the time, Cortana, is the whole mission. Your ultimate mission is just fucking like, all right, grab Cortana and get him to like Master Chief or whatever from the first game, And Rogue One, it was like, they're doing the plans to the Death Star or whatever. Now that I think about it, Rogue One's kind of a complete ripoff of Halo Reach. Though, to be fair, I mean, lightsabers and energy swords from Halo, like, it kind of goes both ways. It's like fucking they borrow from each other. But, yeah, playing through it this time, it's like, this was like an awful lot like fucking Rogue One. The common denominator is, it turns out that telling the story of a, famous mission in your universe or whatever, like something that had been mentioned before, that is like doomed to fail, and playing as, a doomed fucking squad or whatever. It's a good way to do a prequel. If you're going to go down that route, that route of fucking like, oh, I'm going to do like a prequel story, and, don't just fucking like, oh, you don't have to do a bunch of like fan servicey bullshit of like, hey, remember this. It's fucking like, well, it's like you heard about this shit that's going to like, these people are going to die or this mission's going to fail, and fucking like, all right, hopefully now you're along for the ride to see what happened type of deal. Like, it's a good little prequel side story, template. You know what I mean? I like the Reach campaign, for the most part. I mean, it's the classic, you're just following the squad from point A to point B type of war story. Like fucking Gears of War or fucking whatever, Saving Private Ryan, blah, 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 like that shit. Like, it's just, here's this focused small group, in a war. You're going to follow them and go like point to point what they're doing. There's good variety in the missions. You get the standard on-foot combat against the Covenant. that will, and then like that'll flow into like a rail shooting section where you're lobbing grenade rounds and, from a fucking like Pelican with a mounted grenade launcher, and you're fucking doing that and shooting out fucking bridges and shit, blowing them up. And then it's like, all right, now you land, you're going up a hill, and there's fucking like banshees attacking. You have to get up to some tower. It's like, oh, you fucking hijack the fucking banshee and fly up there. And, Halo's at its best when it's a sandbox shooter, and you're in these fucking chaotic skirmishes, and there's fucking like, oh shit, there's just all this shit happening. There's the overwhelmed fucking like tanks shooting at you, and foot soldiers coming at you, and fucking ghosts riding in, and all this shit. And you're figuring out how to use all of like the weapons and the vehicles that are in play in this area, and it's almost like a puzzle to solve, where it's just fucking like, all right, the tools are here. You just have to like find them and use them. I don't think Reach is quite on the level of like the original games, like Combat Evolves, like I think that campaign is just something like special about the first game. I don't know, just fucking. Again, I always say like you play that game on Legendary, and it feels like a Dark Souls type something. You know what I mean? It's just fucking like, it seems like it's just balanced perfectly of difficulty, and it's fucking hard as shit, but it's just fucking like, oh, it's like a challenge that, again, you have to like figure out like, all right, something's here that I'm missing, and how do I like solve this little problem? So I don't think it's as good as that. Really, again, I think the first one's classic. I won't go into like my ranking right now, but first one's classic, and second one's pretty garbage, and the third one's kind of meh. But there's certainly like, I don't think it's as good as that, but there's certain flashes of like pretty good, like brilliant level design for sure. It's just fucking like, this campaign's okay, and then like, Reach's campaign's pretty good, and then it's fucking like, oh, this one part here is fucking amazing. But also some of it is really frustrating. Even I was playing on like heroic difficulty, I was still getting pretty flustered. Just normal like Halo shit, I guess. Is like namely the checkpoints, which it can set you back like a good 5-10 minutes or so, where you'll have almost no ammo when you reload the checkpoint, and you have to get like half a dozen elites there, and you're slowly picking away at them and taking cover behind rocks several times. It's like, all right, pop out a little bit, shoot, and like, oh, I'm almost dead. Fucking go back. Oh, my shield's up. Now his shield's up, and it just fucking goes on forever. And then like after that, it's like, okay, well, here's a room with more elites afterwards. Like after you fucking got like these first like 4 or 5, it's like, all right, I killed them. It was just a fucking pain in the ass, but I did it. And then like, all right, well, here's like another room that's just full of more of them. And there's one piece of garbage in the back of that room with like a fuel rod cannon shooting at you that, he'll just fucking one shot kill you at any time, just like randomly, like, oh, you're in a fight, I'm not paying attention. Nope, that guy fucking just, shot the fucking fuel rod, and somehow, even though you were jumping around and fucking like taking cover and running away and doing all this shit, it's like, oh, I just fucking, one shot like in your back, and it's just like, cool, how the fuck did I even die? Oh, cool, that asshole killed me. Well, it gets us back to fucking 15 minutes earlier and doing it all over again. So then, you finally like, and it's like, okay, then, you go through that, fucking finally get to him where he's like the last one left or whatever. And it's like a complete crapshoot about what's going to happen. It's like, oh, cool, I got his shields down, he's on the ropes, fucking, then like a green streak just comes at you randomly out of his gun, and he's like facing like sideways and like instantly kills you, or it's like, oh, cool, his shields are down, I can get him. Then like he just runs away, and by the time you find him, like crouching behind a box somewhere, their shields are fucking recharged again, and now it's like, fucking cool, I was low on ammo, that was like my one chance to like fucking like kill him, and now I really have no fucking ammo because I just used all of it right there and for nothing, Or the classic, I'm in a tank that's on fire, and like one more shot from fucking anything, and it's gonna explode. And then you're checkpointed where if you round a corner and there's like 4 turrets looking right at you, and the turrets have like homing fucking projectiles. It's just like, oh, they see you, they shoot you, it's just gonna hit you. It's like, cool. And it fucking kills you, and then it's like, oh, cool, reload the checkpoint, and the tank's still on fire. Like, what the fuck can you do? That old chestnut. So yeah, quite a few like, what the fuck scenarios. again, on like, it's not like it's playing on legendary, it's just heroic, which is heroic difficulty. It's pretty standard for Halo. Normal is usually pretty easy. I mean, heroic's supposed to be like challenging, but it shouldn't be like stopped dead in your tracks, like having to turn back and search, like just like, dude, I literally have no fucking ammo to do anything, and you turn around and search half the level again, hoping to find like half a clip of battle rifle rounds or DMR rounds or whatever. So it's like, oh, now you maybe have a chance against like a room full of jackal snipers or something like that. Yeah, there's like these crazy difficulty spikes that feel like it's on like legendary all of a sudden. It's like, oh, cool, this game is cool, I'm having fun, and then like you just hit a spot, like, what the fuck just happened? Why is this like 10 times harder than anything else before it? Or maybe it's just, I don't know, maybe it's designed for like co-op. It's like heroic, but we want to fucking balance it for co-op or whatever. So we just made it like harder and didn't even think about somebody being like by themselves or whatever. But like even the very last section of the last mission of the game, where you climb into a Mac cannon. It's like a giant railgun that's usually on like battleships in the fucking universe, like out in the fucking in space or whatever. But it's like, oh, you have like these fucking mounted ones or whatever, ground ones or whatever. So it's just like a giant railgun you're getting into, like a seat and shit. So it should be this awesome power fantasy heroic moment where you have a Covenant destroyers coming in out of the sky, and you're supposed to be blasting them out of the fucking air with this Mac cannon. But it's nearly impossible to like do it like the way you would think you were doing. I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna get in now. I have like, as long as I hit my shots, I'll be good and whatever, dude. It's fucking. Yeah. I mean, you have to cheese it pretty much. Like, otherwise, you're just gonna fucking die. Like all these banshees and dropships are fucking firing at you, and it's like you have it's just like you're in this cannon or whatever. It was just like a sheet, a fucking seat where you're still exposed. You have normal shields and health and shit, and there's these banshees and all this shit fucking firing at you. A couple shots from that, and you're just gonna die. Like they didn't take into account that you're inside this, massive armored weapon. It's like fucking. It's like you can shoot some of them down, but you have to wait for the gun to recharge, which takes like a few 5-10 seconds or whatever before you can fire another one. And as you're getting shot to shit, where it's like, oh, well, 3 of them just fucking came in at once shooting at me. It's like, I have to wait for this to reload. There's literally nothing I could fucking do except sit here and get fucking shot. So you have no choice, but you have to exit the cannon so you're not getting fucking immediately shot, like you're stationary, just getting shot. Like run around a corner somewhere, crouch down, wait for even when you exit the cannon, when you're getting out, you have to wait for the animation to play out of you opening the fucking pod and getting out and all that shit and climbing down a ladder or whatever. And it's like, if you're doing that, you have no control over anything, just hoping you don't get shot in the fucking back. And it's like, all right, well, I get out, just hide for a while, let your shields recharge. All right, get back in and hope you have a good opening where, you can fucking get a shot off at the main fucking destroyer or whatever you're trying to take down to end the mission. It's sloppy. Like, it feels really fucking sloppy. Sloppier than your wife's pussy after watching an NBA game. So I'm controlling, it's on PC, so I'm controlling the game with a mouse and a keyboard, which feels a little odd too. Obviously wasn't really designed for that. First, it was 10 years later. It's like, oh, now you can play with a mouse and keyboard, I guess. You do have like the nice, quick, smooth accuracy with, again, you're playing with a fucking mouse. A mouse is good for aiming, I guess. But you're a Spartan at the same day. You're supposed to be like this walking tank, that's kind of slow and sluggish, and it takes a little bit for you to gain like momentum to get up to like full like walking speed even. And all that's kind of like by design, for the game. The entire reason Halo became so popular in general really is, it was built from the ground up to be played with a controller, and throughout, even after the first one going forward, they spend a lot of time like years, like years perfecting that of like a first person shooter on a controller. From like the analog movement to like the amount of auto aim the game gives you. And I know fucking, auto aim, like, fucking bullshit. It's not even like close to like the aim down sights and snap to targets type shit that like Call of Duty was known for. It's like Halo always had like this, like it's meant to be like, you couldn't even like scope in most of the fucking weapons, but it's meant to be, it always had like this subtle, like couple frames worth of slowdown when your cursor passed by somebody's hitbox. It's like, all right, well, you'd slow down, then like the fucking game would help you out a little bit. But it's like, all right, well, you're going over this hitbox, so I'll slow you down just a little bit. You know what I mean? So, now I think they just completely removed that for the PC version, or when you're playing with a mouse and keyboard anyway. And that feels completely different, obviously. It's fucking, I would usually say, like, fucking, it's not that much of a difference playing with keyboard and mouse. It's like, you get, like, your movement versus your, precision with the mouse or whatever. Analog stick versus a keyboard is better for movement, and, a fucking mouse is better for the fine aim or whatever. But it's fucking, like, even with the mouse, it's fucking just, this is different now. Like, it barely feels like the same game. Pretty shocking going from like even like the vast majority of PC shooters that I played with a mouse and keyboard, like Ion Fury or whatever, it comes to mind, where that was fucking like so fast and quick. Everything is about running around and fucking sprinting all the time and just like snap, like fucking whip the fucking mouse over, like precision fucking pinpoint and zooming around, running and fucking zooming around like you're in fucking on your third re-up of a crack bender night. Then just going from that to like Halo's more deliberately like methodical, just like slow moving. There was like a sprint. I think it was the Reach might be the first one that actually had any kind of sprint, but it's an armor ability, like it's a pickup in the campaign. And it doesn't really have a high duration at all. Like you start sprinting and after a couple seconds you're out and you have to let it cool down and like recharge or whatever. Then it's like, you're doing that, you're moving pretty slow, you take a few hits, you have to hide behind some rocks for it seems like forever now for your fucking shield to recharge back up. It's like you're sitting there and fucking like it's taking a while for this fucking shit to fucking come back. I've played so much fucking Halo in my life, but still now, after not playing other games for a few years, just not really picking up a Halo game for so long. It's been so long since fucking 5 came out or whatever. And just like, again, playing all these different fucking shooters and PC shooters, other console shooters, and all these fucking like high level fucking like high motion action fucking shooters. And then coming back to it, and like every fiber of my being is telling me, it's like, you gotta run in and run and gun, like circle strafe and be like aggressive to everybody that you come up against. And that'll just get you fucked up. Like, this fucking, your shields will drop and then you'll die. Like, that's pretty much what's gonna happen. And then there's the multiplayer, of course. Going back to, trying to go back to Halo Reach's multiplayer. It's so goddamn hard. It's hard in like every sense of the word. I thought I would go in and it would be like, riding a bike or whatever. It would just fucking like, I played so much of this fucking game, I'll pick it up. Like, this game and fucking level, just get used to it. And plus I figured all these PC players who are probably brand new, like they never played Reach before, or they're super casual about the series. Like, Reach again was never on PC until now. I think only Halo 1 and Halo 2 were ever on PC, but yeah, it was so fucking long ago. It's probably, I'm sure that all these people have like, I played Halo 1 and 2 or whatever, and they're just fucking like, Reach is fucking, it's a little bit, it's a different game, and, they want to know what they were doing. But I get in there and I'm fucking like, I'll just fucking go and I'll pick it up. And, no, I just kind of get my ass reamed for a while. Like, I couldn't do a fucking thing. I've been playing some online first-person shooters lately, but You got to keep in mind, in my defense, I mean, I've been playing all these fucking like shooters pretty regularly at this point online, but they're kind of each their own thing, and like Halo is kind of in its own universe. It's like all these fucking like shooters, and then Halo is like really its own fucking thing. I mean, mainly because again, it's just designed to be played on a console, really, and it's, played with a controller, and then it's like fucking like, oh, here's retroactively you're playing with a keyboard and mouse, and it's its own fucking thing. It's its own universe, the Halo universe, I think they call it. Well, actually, first off, one really cool thing, my custom map and game type that I made in 2010, I guess it was from fucking Reach, I'd imagine. Maybe it was fucking anywhere in, no, maybe it was fucking Halo 3 from even longer than that. I don't know. But yeah, so it's fucking I went to this little thing in the menu, little option of your files. I'm like, the fuck? Didn't think anything would be there. I click on it and I was like, oh dude, these are my game type, my map from however fucking long ago. Again, I'm assuming it's from the original release of Reach, or it maybe not that, or maybe it was fucking from the Master Chief Collection on Xbox, maybe when I fucking did it, and somehow it saved. Again, it is technically, I guess this is the Master Chief Collection on PC. They just released Reach first. Maybe that's what it is, but maybe it's from the Master Chief Collection on Xbox One, so maybe only 4 or 5 years ago, whatever. But I don't know. It was just weird. It was just funny of all that shit fucking saved somewhere, in the cloud, in the X cloud or whatever the fuck. That was kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, I made a map called Warzone, which is basically just an open map with everything stripped out of it, kind of. And I moved a few things around and made some goals. It's basically like an oddball variant called A-ball. Which is one hit melee kills, and that's it. Nobody has weapons, and it made the spawns symmetrical and even. And I think there's a couple teleporters on you can go into an empty room, the ball fucking spawns in an empty room almost. And from there, it's there'd be a fight over it in this fucking one really simple room, and then whoever gets it can fucking go out to another. You go outside where the goals are and shit. So it was almost like Rocket League and Halo before Rocket League existed, which I still have not played Rocket League. I'm just assuming, I guess. We'll stick with that though. Anyway, there's 2 two basic hoppers for multiplayer. It's social and competitive. And for the longest fucking time, when it came to online games, I would point to Halo as the prime example of why all online games should have a ranking system. If you weren't playing ranked, then you're a real piece of garbage. Halo had the skill level would be 1 to 50 would be the ranking system, where you'd go up or down depending on how you performed, which I think was like a variation of like the ELO system that they use in professional chess or whatever. And it generally worked really well. I mean, you hit a point. In my case, thinking like Halo 2 I'd be around like 28 or 30, and maybe like Halo 3 was like 40. Halo 3 was kind of weird. They waited you so you could go up. It was easier to go up in 3 than 2. But you hit like a point where the games were, it's like, all right, the games were tight. You'd be busting your balls to hit the next level of whatever your next fucking rank would be. Then once you got there, it's fucking like, all right, you just like struggle and you probably drop down a couple ranks and, then maybe go up to the rank that you should be at, which is how competitive games should be. I mean, you get matched up against players that are near your skill, right? And that's been Halo's ranked games. It's fucking like Halo 2. Like that's what it was. It's fucking like, oh, you get a rank, and that's what ranked games are. And then, later on, it's fucking like people didn't like that. So like, all right, well, here's like some social fucking playlist, casual playlist. You go into like the casual playlist that had no rankings, and it would just be a shit show. I mean, like the highest ranked players would go in there as like full teams. You get like a full team of what would be like ranked 50s, just fucking like, oh dude, let's fucking, I don't want to lose my rank, bro, so let's fucking go into these casual games. And then, you'd go up against them, and there'd be no fucking buffer, they'd fucking just go in there and pub stomp, and then you'd get into games where it's fucking like the other team, it's like fucking 4 people on split screen, and somebody's fucking dorm or something, and none of them have no idea what the fuck they're doing, and you'd fucking dominate. People would quit all the time because, there's also, I don't know, fuck it, I'm not being ranked, so who fucking cares if I quit? It's not going to affect me any. You get that. So yeah, you go into fucking Halo Reach or whatever, the Master Chief Collections multiplayer. And I see like casual and competitive playlists. So of course I'm going to choose the competitive one. It's not because I'm an ultra competitive person or anything like that, but because I want to play, evenly matched games with the other shitheads like me who aren't really that good at the game. And then as the match is loading, it shows like the map name or whatever and the game type on the side, and it says something like MLG Slayer on the map, whatever, MLG Blood Gulch version 7.9 or something like that. And I'm fucking like, oh god, dude, I forgot about this. Like I forgot fucking Major League Gaming was a thing that anybody cared about at any point in time, which I always thought was a fucking joke. And how badly it really destroyed everything that was like good and fun about like Halo's multiplayer. But I'm like, all right, I guess maybe it's something I can like switch off in the options or something in the competitive playlist. And then it starts you off, and it's like everyone has DMR starts because it's MLG and everybody wants to be a fucking sniper. You spawn in and fucking 3 people are looking right at you. They all fucking DMRs, obviously. And fucking across the map, and you drop dead before you can even like get your bearings. Like look around, like, where did I spawn? Oh, I got fucking shot in the head by 3 people. That's great. I'm fucking dead. Most of the fucking power weapon spawns are moved around, and I think some of the weapons are removed completely because they were fun to use and they don't require sniping skills. Certain features of the map, like rocks and grass and shit, like anything that could give it like any kind of like artistic value and make it like pleasant to look at and kind of like fun to play. And nope, it's fucking, oh dude, that gets in the way and it obstructs my view. It obstructs my sniping line having a rock there. So having a patch of grass there, like I don't know, dude, my grenades might bounce off of it when I throw it, so just remove it. And it's fucking like shit like that stripped out. Ban everything I don't like. It's fucking terrible. Like, I'm like, dude, this is awful. Like, fucking, I'm not playing this shit. So it's like, all right. So I guess what I would do, I guess I'm stuck with the casual playlist. I guess is where I'm gonna have to go if I want to actually play Halo. I want to play a real Halo and not some like piss poor Counter-Strike hack mod, whatever, custom game type. So again, like in Call of Duty, I hate to keep comparing like Halo and Call of Duty. It feels like it's fucking 2006 all over again. But that's actually kind of an interesting Venn diagram there. It was switching between like the new Call of Duty that I've been playing, Modern Warfare, which despite the ongoing perpetual whining about, it's like, oh, dude, it's just Call of Duty. Call of Duty fucking just comes out every year and whatever. And it's, it's just like the same game. They've been making forever with like minor tweaks or whatever. And, but I mean, Call of Duty has had minor tweaks every year for however many years. It's been fucking like the biggest fucking shooter out there. And now, it's fucking, you get to this, now it's fucking, it's like, hey, this game's modernized and it's fucking improved over those years. And again, whatever you want to fucking look at it, if fucking like, oh, I don't like this change they made, and maybe they'll take it up next year, maybe they'll try something different, just like little things that they change. It might be a step back in one area, and then like, oh, they'll adjust something else the next year. But it's been, it has been like a steady constant of like, we're going to keep making these games it's going to come out every fucking year, and we're going to try to keep up with whatever the fuck other people are doing, and we're going to try to polish our fucking gameplay. And so you play Modern Warfare and it's fucking like, no, this really is like it feels like a modern game. Like, is this Modern Warfare? It's the fucking latest high budget online first person shooter, and it looks and it feels that way. Then you play Halo Reach's multiplayer, and it feels like a game from fucking 2010. You know what I mean? By the way, you youngins might not remember this, but there was a time when Halo and Call of Duty were the two big names, the two big fucking men on campus. If you want to play shooters online. If you wonder why your health regenerates in a semi-realistic war game like Call of Duty, even though that makes zero sense, it's because they had to do what fucking Halo did, where, you were, in Halo, you're a genetically enhanced super soldier with, an armor and an energy shield and shit, which makes sense in the world of Halo. It was a fucking justifying why that happens in Halo. And why in Reach then you play Reach and it's like, oh, there's a sprint here, there was never a sprint in Halo until now. But even though you're supposed to be like a walking tank, like you probably shouldn't be able to sprint. I mean, I guess again, being a fucking nerd about it, I mean, in like the books and shit, it's like, oh yeah, dude, fucking some are faster than others and some run, so it's like that's just fucking, oh, there's armor abilities or whatever. But made sense before when it's fucking, it's like, oh, you're just like a big fucking like tank, like lumbering around and shit. But I mean, it's like, oh, well, people were complaining that it's too slow, so here's a sprint button, or a sprint pickup anyway. And I mean, like they were neck and neck competing, and it's kind of safe to say now, if I was like Call of Duty kind of came out on top, seeing, oh, there's been a new fucking Halo game in 4 years, and fucking nobody's talked about Halo 5 in like 2, you know what I mean? So, okay, history lesson concluded there. So I was trying to say that there's fucking custom searches in Reach, like in Modern Warfare. So, I do like my 3 favorite fucking game types, usual boring shit. But in Halo, it's fucking Team Slayers, SWAT, Team Snipers. I mean, basic stuff, right? I mean, if I could had the option to like weigh it of like what I wanted to do, would be like, ideally it'd be like Team Slayers 60% of the time, SWAT like 25%, and Snipers 15% of the time, maybe, to be anal about it. But I'm not anal enough that I'm gonna manually fucking pick Slayer, then go back and switch to fucking SWAT or whatever. I like the randomness is kind of cool. I just wish there was a way to be like, I want to play Slayer mostly, but also throw these ones in every now and then. But yeah, the big problem is you play any of those game types and it's DMR starts It's not just the MLG bullshit fucking competitive playlist that you'd figure fucking, or I'd be like, oh yeah, of course, like those queers would want to start with like the precision long range weapons, of course. It's like fucking, but you know, you want to play normal traditional Halo where everybody starts with an assault rifle. I mean, it's technically there, like it's in the fucking matchmaking hoppers, but it comes up very, very fucking rarely. Like I've seen it maybe come up normal fucking like regular assault rifle start Halo. I've seen come up like 5 times maybe out of whatever 50, 100 games that I played. Like fucking like very rarely it fucking comes up. And I like the DMR. I think that's a really good weapon. You know, it is like a mini sniper rifle that you have to like time your shots with it. You have to like figure out the timing of like it's like the reticle expands every time you take a shot. So it's kind of, you know, it's a skill you got to develop of like, oh, if I'm doing something long range, I got to wait longer between shots. But if I'm fucking up close, it's kind of just pump the trigger as fast as you can if they're filling up like the biggest fucking, you know, biggest circle in there. So, you know, it's a fucking, DMR is like an iconic gun, I think. But it's a power weapon, you know what I mean? Like, that was the point of it, where you start out with the assault rifle, which, I mean, you can complain about the assault rifle being shitty all you want, but the purpose of having everybody start with that was just like, all right, you have like this close range, it's pretty much more of like an SMG almost than like an assault rifle. So, like that, starting with that, have everybody start with that fucking that forces you to work as a team, like legitimately work together. It's not that you can't get kills with the assault rifle. I mean, you can, but you have to play smart about it. You have to know the maps. You have to know the corners and, you know, flank and work with your teammates. Whereas fucking like, it's like, all right, if we're going to go in as a team, you know, we all have these assault rifles. It's like, oh, I can, you know, you have like a point man that goes in and gets up close and he'll take some damage and like he'll back out. You know, is the other team going to chase you around the corner and you have fucking other people behind you or whatever. They're crouching or standing still so they don't come up on the radar and like all this shit. And you have to know, again, you have to know like the corners you can duck behind, the rocks, all the cover and all this shit. And, so as in, you have to be like in close proximity with your team. Like it's not like, oh, everybody can just spread out across the entire fucking map and, no matter what, like who cares? Like as long as we're just covering the most area and we can see have the best sight lines, like that's all that fucking matters. It made, like starting with the assault rifle, it just made the game as much about playing smart as it did having like fast reflexes and like having the best aim. Whereas, you know, the assault rifle is not fucking accurate, but you know, the closer you are, the more bullets are gonna hit. So you have to fucking whatever, like time that shit out too. Like there was an art to it. It was like the fucking sweet science of assault rifle starts, and now it's fucking. It's like, no, we start with the DMR, you know. You know, it's supposed to be, you know, if everybody starts with the assault rifle, then you have like you have like a tier of weapons above that where you can find better weapons on the map, obviously, you know, needlers or, you know, plasma pistols, which are situational, I guess, but, you know, just charge it up, you drop somebody's shield or whatever, you know, the energy weapons. That was the whole like thing with Halo 2, where it's fucking like you figure like, oh, the energy weapons kind of suck to like actually use and get kills with, but used as a secondary, like the drop shields better, and you know, then you switch to like, then you would switch to an assault rifle or a pistol or something like that to get like when the shields are down, like like do damage to like somebody's actual health. So, you know, and then there's like the DMR would be on the map, right? And it's not like there was a shortage of DMRs or whatever, the battle rifles before that. There's like, there's plenty of them. There's more than one. It's not like it's fucking like a rocket launcher or something. It's just like one you got to fight for. It's like there's 4 or 5 like scattered around. You just got to like find them, move for them. But you know, you had to know where they were. And, you know, if you picked up a DMR, it's like now suddenly you're lethal at like medium range while everybody else is like, has an AR, they're trying to fucking touch sticks with you. And you can just fucking like hang back and it just kind of turns to a different type of role that you're playing. So it's like now you can use that. You can use the added range of the team's advantage to help get control of like the real power weapons, you know, the rocket launchers and energy swords and fucking like snipers. But once you remove removed that fucking mid-tier before it, where it's just everybody now who gives a shit about the fucking sniper rifle. Like, you just start with one pretty much. It's like, sure, you might be able to get like a few kills with an actual sniper rifle, but everybody has these guns they're starting with where they can see you pretty much across the map, and if you're trying to aim long range with a sniper rifle, like they hit you once anywhere, hit you in the fucking foot, it's gonna like knock you out of like your scope view. So it's fucking like before, it's like, well, I have an assault rifle, I can't get this guy after a certain range, so it's like an actual power weapon. Now it's like, no, I can just fucking knock you out, I can just keep hitting you. Like, it's like who sees who first, pretty much. It's not like the sniper rifle isn't like nearly the threat that it should be. It's fucking, somebody's picked up a sniper rifle to get like a couple kills. Okay. Like, who cares? So yeah, again, old school Halo used to revolve around snipers pretty much. If you had somebody on your team who was good with it, was good with the sniper, but as soon as the match starts, like, that's what you would be going for. Like, everybody make a concentrated effort, especially if you're playing with people that and fucking like, oh, this guy is actually good with the sniper rifle. Just like, okay, make an effort, everybody go for it at the start, make sure this guy gets it. And then you're basically like protecting him until he runs out of ammo. You like get him set up in a good spot, and it's fucking like, if he's good, he'll get maybe like six kills for you. That'll pretty much go unanswered, maybe if things go right. So, you get maps like Ascension that were famous for its fucking, like, they have like the sniper tower in there. It's like this fucking monolith where somebody with a sniper rifle can go up there and like perch up, and they have a little fucking like, whatever little slit they can fucking poke the head out and see, and fucking just like go to town on like pretty much the entire map. Well, everybody on his team would be like protecting them. They're at the base, and then be like these skirmishes at the base, like trying to get up there, trying to fucking throw grenades up at him and shit. The other team's trying to figure out a way to get to him. It's fucking like, oh, if I can go to the other side of the map and get like a rocket launcher, and maybe we can fucking throw one up there, while he's fucking looking the other way and fucking take him out that way, and then the team can go in, and there's all this like teamwork shit that you're doing. That was like the entire flow of the map, like Ascension in particular. Like, it was just fucking like, so like everybody would do like, if they're gonna make a custom game type, like a sniper game type, be like, oh yeah, you do fucking Ascension. That's like the sniper map or whatever. Conversely, somebody like me, who was a terrible sniper, you just have to like, you're developing your strategy. You have to pay attention and be aware that if somebody gets that, if somebody gets their hands on that, who on the other team, who can fuck your shit up, then it's like, you have to develop these strategies of like all the different maps of like how to get, what are the, where do people who snipe, where are they going to go, and how am I get, like, what's the best way to get there, and without getting your fucking head blown off. Or even, it'd be like me, I'm a bad sniper, but it might come a point in the game where I kill somebody with a sniper rifle, or I happen to be near where the sniper rifle spawns and it's there, and then like you get it, and it's like, all right, I'll try to do what I can with it, but if you're gonna die with it, that the guy on the other teams who might be good at sniping will pick it up, and there's a lot of like the decisions you had to make of like fucking like, well, do I try to go for this, or do I fucking, do I try to survive, or do I, now I have the fucking sniper rifle, or do I just, a lot of times just fucking like, oh, let's jump off a fucking cliff and kill myself, just fucking like take it out of play until it fucking respawns again, like that was like part of the strategy of like fucking like, oh, I'm gonna like deny the other team this, I'll kill myself, sacrifice myself to fucking, for the good of the team, to fucking make sure that they're not gonna get like, they're not gonna get 5 deaths on my account for handing the other team this fucking power weapon. Like, that was Halo, like getting the power weapons, getting to them first, controlling them. There'd be like, again, it'd just be like battles for like a flow in a battle to where the power weapons were. Then once you had them, you had to control, you had to know how to use them, obviously. Like, it wasn't like fucking, they all controlled differently. You had to know the fucking, how the rockets worked, how fucking the sword works, like all this shit you had to learn. A big debate in the competitive community, quote unquote, maybe it was even part of like some MLG bullshit, but teams used to like physically they'd go to like these Halo competitions. They would like physically mod their Xbox controllers with like a stopwatch or like a clock in the middle of them. So they knew like they'd press it and it'd be timed like however long the respawn was for the power weapons. They would know like when the power weapons would be coming back. So. And then with the fucking just having like the DMR starts, like it really dumbs everything down. Like it eliminates the learning curve almost completely in the game. Like that's fucking, it still is that, like even that's like not Halo. Like anytime you start with anything other than like the default assault rifle or whatever, it's like, dude, this isn't fucking like Halo. It's just like a custom game. That's somebody's like custom game that's now default, probably because of vocal minorities said they liked it better, or like, you know, oh dude, the assault rifle sucks, like why would anybody want to start with this fucking piece of shit, because that was kind of the point, you know, all the fucking maps were designed around it, you know, designed around close quarter combat and all that shit. You take that away, it's fucking just, I don't know. For any kids out there, you know, that would be like starting a fucking battle royale. It'd be like starting Fortnite or something, I'm guessing. If you just started these fucking battle royale games, they dropped you with like a sniper rifle with like the best sniper rifle in the game, or let's say the second best sniper rifle in the game, like the second best scope in the game or whatever. Then it's like, oh, well, why'd you run around the map to get anything else rather than just like run around and shoot people all the time? It's like, well, maybe there's a slightly better one out there somewhere, but it was just, you know, who cares really, and who's going to bother going for that? Because you'll probably die in the fucking process of getting it, or like right after you pick up, is whatever. Everybody else can fucking murder you anyway. So some of the maps, starting with the DMR, like just completely breaks them. Like fucking Beaver Creek, whatever the hell it's called now, whatever they called it 10 years ago, like the third iteration of Beaver Creek. The map with like the two bases, and there's like a river or a creek, I guess, that's running in the center of it. And there's like the overhang in the center, and like the little caves and shit in the bottom. There's like really no reason to do anything in that fucking map other than just get up high and just start like spawn killing. Like why wouldn't you? Like there's no point of doing anything else. You know, hang 'em high, that map from Halo 1. Same shit, maybe worse there because there's like bunkers that you can just kind of like camp in and shoot down like it's fucking like Normandy, and they have like the fucking not pillboxes, but the fucking barricades and shit up you know, down below and like on the floor level where there's, you know, weapons and all that, but there would normally be like this close quarter fucking fighting going on there. It's like, well, now there's not, because it's pretty much, you down there, you're just going to die, because everyone up top is just going to be shooting down at you. Everybody is a fucking DMR. Even SWAT, which is a game type where it makes sense to start with a DMR, I guess. But the maps they chose for it, some of them are like flat out fucking like terrible SWAT maps. Yeah, I was fucking I'm playing. I'm like, why is this in SWAT? Like this is not a fucking like SWAT map. It just turns into like a snipe fest. Like Boardwalk, or yeah, there's an actual reach map, Boardwalk, which wasn't the best map to begin with, but fucking playing SWAT on it is fucking Jesus Christ. That's just like a huge open area with you know, lanes you can see straight from like one end of the map to the other, and everyone just hangs out at like the extremes of the map and just fucking like shoots at each other, shoots at fucking like the nameplates of each other, you know, whenever it's like, oh, let's fucking look around here, and if my, you know, reticle turns fucking red through some trees or whatever, just start shooting. So I mean, SWAT isn't supposed to be long range. I should know, because I invented that game type. Before there was real SWAT, you know, like actual in-game playlists for SWAT. And before I fucking like heard or saw it anywhere else, we used to play these custom games in Halo 2 called One Shot, One Kill, where nobody had shields, and you'd start with a battle rifle and a pistol. I think that you started with one grenade too. I think maybe like it maxed out, so you could only have one grenade at a time. Which actually I think that makes things much more interesting, just having a grenade. I mean, people can complain about like, oh, there's fucking people that start out and they start spamming grenades and blah 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 and fucking, but more dynamic fucking gameplay when there's grenades in play than just fucking everyone's walking around with fucking the same gun shooting at each other. Like that's the game type. But yeah, I mean, SWAT's supposed to be relatively close quarters. I mean, that's hence the name SWAT. You know, again, they call it SWAT. It's supposed to be like you're a SWAT team going into like a house or something. It's supposed to be like close quarters, blind corners and all that shit. Not fucking these just maps that are just like open fucking areas, you know, open arenas for would make sense if you're playing like team snipers where you want like all this long range shit. It's like I'm playing with a DMR and like, but one headshot's going to kill people and I'm just like sniping with it pretty much. I mean, everyone's just fucking hanging back sniping. So I mean, that's my main complaint really with Halo Reach in the Master Chief Collection. I mean, you're probably playing it I'm playing it for like Halo nostalgia. I might have brought up the same point when I played fucking the Master Chief Collection on Xbox One originally. I don't know if I was fucking recording a podcast at that point. I don't fucking know. I'm old. But you know, so you're playing this game for nostalgia, but what they're offering for the multiplayer is like not really anything like the game that you played like back in the day. Of like, oh, Halo Reach, cool, let's play the multiplayer. This isn't Halo Reach's multiplayer. Like, it's just not the same shit. It's not that it's awful, but it's just like a jiggered around, just lowest common denominator thing that the masses, you know, the masses, the shooter fans in general can just kind of like pick up, and it's like, oh, anybody can just pick it up and understand it immediately. It was fucking like, oh, everyone has the same gun, they're all shooting at each other. Okay, like that's the game, I guess. You know, it would be like one thing if they took the original game and just like made like tweaks to it and changed shit and like balance some stuff and, you know, just like patch something in there. They learn from millions of people playing the game for like a decade or whatever. I'm just like, well, we don't want like the actual original, like some of the shit was unbalanced, so we're going to change that. And like, that'd be fine if they just made little changes to make it better and more balanced. But what they did instead is they just kind of like threw up their hands, just fucking like, I don't know, dude, I give up. Like, it's too, like, you're getting complaints from everywhere. People don't like this. They don't understand it or whatever. So they don't understand it, I guess. So, you know, this is like kind of like the simplest thing that we can do, where it's technically still Halo, and, you know, it's still the Halo Reach, the game is the same maps and all that, the same weapons, and, you know, we don't have to listen to people who don't know how to play Halo say the game's like broken or unbalanced because they got shot with a weapon they didn't have like halfway through the fucking match. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, dude, they fucking got shot with a sniper and blah blah blah. It's bullshit. I have an assault rifle. It's like, oh, well, you should have used that to get the sniper. That's the point. Like learn from that and fucking go. It's like, oh, if you're really pissed off about fucking the other team that keeps getting the fucking sniper rifle, then your team go fight for the fucking sniper rifle first. Like, that's the point. I mean, I'll still play it. I'll still play fucking Halo Reach and shit. I'll swear at it and complain about the fucking changes the entire time. It's almost like the Star Wars. It's like Halo Reach, the special edition or something. But hey, you know, Halo's back on PC, everybody. Hey. And speaking of Xboxes, there's a new one coming out. The Xbox Series X. And it looks like a computer tower, or an Amazon Alexa, or I don't know, a fucking air freshener, or one of those all-in-one modems and routers that Comcast gives you. But okay, whatever. It's a fucking, it looks like a computer, and it's a fucking pre-made computer in a box. That's what it is. It's an Xbox, if you will. It's a more powerful computer than the previous one. Consoles, that's what they are. Only now it's kind of getting one of those or getting excited about it. It's kind of completely redundant if you have a PC. I know I'm really not the target audience at this point in my life, in my gaming career, but again, I'm not gonna shit on people. Like, I'm not a fucking like PC master race. type of fucking faggot who's going to be like, oh, dude, well, you buying a console, you just buy a PC. I understand fucking people just want to simple fucking buy whatever, a $300, $400 fucking box and just throw an HDMI cable onto their TV and be fine and play whatever they give you. But I mean, again, if you're in the market for a more powerful Xbox, there you go. The fucking Xbox Series X. I think the name's fine, I guess. It sounds like you're buying a new iPhone, which I'm sure that's kind of what they were going for. Is fucking, I don't know, iPhone X, whatever. It's fucking Xbox Series X. Yeah, it's kind of like that. People understand that. It's fine. It's kind of plain, boring, but okay, fine. More importantly, the Game Awards, not the awards themselves or the show itself, because who gives a shit about that? I mean, everybody's aware of what a fucking joke that shit is by now, right? I'm assuming. But at the stupid show they had anyway, they announced Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga, or whatever it's called, Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2, maybe, new Hellblade game. That's kind of neat. I don't know if it's particularly necessary to have a Hellblade sequel. I mean, Hellblade seemed like a one and done type of thing, but I did like it. I liked Hellblade a lot. I'm interested to see where they go with it. I mean, I think after Ninja Theory got bought out by Microsoft, and the first thing they showed from them was that fucking cartoony like animal battle royale or whatever the fuck that was. So it's good to see they're working on something bigger, like something better that's more like fucking, I'm sure Microsoft bought them because of Hellblade, and it's fucking like, hey, why don't you make a Hellblade 2? At least they're doing that, it's not like fucking like Rare or something where it's fucking, cool, we have Rare, and I don't know what the fuck we're going to do with them, make avatars or some shit. They also showed some Gears of War Tactics, which is a real game, which I think they announced at E3 really, but I guess they showed a little bit of gameplay. It's turn-based Gears, and it's a fine idea. Should work. I don't know why it wouldn't. Hopefully it doesn't crash every match like fucking Gears 5 did on PC. That'd be nice. I played a bunch of other shit this week, but, I really went off on a good old-fashioned Halo tangent there. So we'll have to strap into our mech cockpits next week and build up the reputation of our mercenary company to buy bigger mechs and take on more dangerous contracts. So there was also this weird Vietnam game I played where you gave radio commands to squads of soldiers just looking at a map. That game kind of sucked. Next week. I'll always leave them wanting more. That's my ongoing philosophy over at gruntfreepress.com, www.gruntfreepress.com to be specific. So I'm sure you've been wanting more there for years, but keep wanting. Podcast at gruntfreepress.com is the email address. I am Absolute Deicide, and I'll leave you with this question. Who watches The Watchmen? Hopefully nobody. Nobody really should, because that fucking show sucks. It's fucking terrible. Jesus Christ. What a fucking train wreck.
On the interstate have been known to ride the rails. Sweat is beading on the brow and keep these fellows down, cause these damn blue collar drinkers, they're running this here town. prostitute to that blue room would help him do the trick. His foreman pat him on the back whenever he would come around, 'cause these damn blue-collar drinkers, they're beloved in this town. Hey, you know I ain't no clown, 'cause